Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a brand new series. This is A Tale of Two Wastelands. Now, of course, Tale of Two Wastelands is not a game unto itself, but before we get into all of this, I would like to just kind of discuss what this video is going to contain. This is an introductory video to this series, and in this video, I'm going to discuss three main topics. My vision for this series, I'm going to discuss what Tale of Two Wastelands is, in case you don't know. And then I'm going to talk to you about my mods that I'm going to be running, because obviously Tale of Two Wastelands is a mod. So if you're not interested in that, if you just want to skip straight to episode 1, hopefully episode 1 will already be up and you can just skip straight to that. However, if you're interested in what I'm about to say, and because I'm going to talk about the character we're going to be running, what we're going to be doing with the series, stick around. I'm also going to put timestamps so you can skip to the different sections if you're interested in that. Interested in some things and not interested in other things. But let's quit the rambling, shall we? Let's start off with what I want for this series. What is my vision for this series? Because this is going to be a grand undertaking. So first and foremost, what I want out of this is this is going to be a let's roleplay adventure. Now, what do I mean exactly by roleplay? I want to create a character and then play as that character exclusively. So not talking about what I'm doing, but talking as in like, hey, today we're going to be going to this place. No. Because I'm not going to be narrating this as the player, right? As the human being playing the game. I'm going to be talking as if I were the guy, right? I want to make decisions based on a character that I choose, who has likes and dislikes, who has their own morality, that kind of thing. So not necessarily things that I would do, but things that the character would do. And on top of that, with the knowledge that the character has, not the knowledge that I have. So what I mean by that is we got to keep the metagaming out of the experience. I've played this game quite a few times, and I'm pretty familiar with it, so we have to make sure that we're not using my knowledge of the game to kind of game the system. So let me give you some examples of metagaming, in particular in Fallout 3. Okay, there's a weapon in Fallout 3 called the dart gun. Now, I always get the dart gun when I play on my own, and the reason for that is because basically one shot from the dart gun will cripple almost any enemy's legs. Meaning that if you have a deathclaw coming at you at 100 miles an hour, you shoot it with the dart gun, it is instantly crippled, and it can't run at you anymore. So like it's the main threat of the deathclaw is it closing in to you into melee range and just like killing you. But with this, you can cripple its legs and not worry about that, pick it off from a distance, be more safe, etc. I always get this, and I know you need the blueprints for it, and you need components. I think you need a toy car, surgical tubing, duct tape, darts, rat scorpion venom, and I think one other thing. But I always get that. Every time I play, I will go, and if I see these things, I pick them up because I know that I need these things for the dart gun. But you know who doesn't know that? My character. My character doesn't know anything about dart guns, or that they even exist. There's other examples. There's a NPC that will pay you caps for scrap metal if you bring him scrap metal. There's an NPC that'll pay you caps for sugar bombs if you bring him sugar bombs. I'm not going to do that because my character doesn't know about that. Until I learn about these things, my character wouldn't just randomly pick up scrap metal just in case I can sell it to a guy. No, that's what I'm saying. So what this means is that I'm going to be leaving behind loot. I'm going to be not playing in the most optimal way. And it's not because I don't know what I'm doing. It's on purpose. I'm purposefully not playing this way because my character, fresh out of the vault, wouldn't know where to go immediately. Like, I know where to go to advance the quest, but my character doesn't. So we have to my character has to find these things out. I hope I'm making sense, because this is kind of what I want for the series, right? For this character to go through the entirety of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas as the character. All right? So it's going to take a bit of acting and pretending I don't know what I'm doing, but that's kind of the whole point. Okay? So, that's my vision for like how I'm going to be playing it. Now, as far as the series itself, I'm going to be spreading this out over chapters or seasons. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. I haven't decided yet. And the reason for this is if I play through the entirety of Fallout 3 and the DLC, and then the entirety of Fallout New Vegas and the DLC, this is going to take 600 episodes, right? I don't know. And I can't do that in one shot. Like, I'll lose interest, everyone else will lose interest. So I'm going to break it up into sizable chunks, at stopping in places where I think it's like a natural stopping point, right? So for example, let's say I accidentally walk into a thing that triggers a DLC. Well, that'll be the end of season whatever, and then the DLC will be another season. Or like a major event might be the end of a season, stuff like that. So I want to break it up into like chunks like that, record, and then go do something else, like play a different game, give the game a break, and then come back to the story later, like a few months later, maybe a couple of weeks later, just to give it time to not become stale. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Okay, so that out of the way, what about the character, the actual character that I'm going to be playing? So again, I'm taking a realistic approach to character creation, and again, that means no meta. What this means is I know what the better perks are, right? I know that the perks, you want to go intelligence all the way so you get more perk points every level up, right? Or whatever they're called. That way you can allocate more points towards your skill points. That's what they're called. Okay, but I know that if I do that, that's metagaming, because I know that's what you're supposed to do to play more optimally. I don't want to do that. I want to create a character that would be like natural. Nobody has 10 intelligence, right? 10 intelligence, everything else is average, right? No. We're going to do something a little more realistic, a more well-balanced character, even if that means that my level ups are going to be less good every time I level up. Okay, so what I'm kind of thinking is, and I've really thought about this hard, so the character I kind of want to do is going to take after James, right? James is your dad. You grew up with your dad. Sorry, spoilers. This is like all episode 1 stuff. But you're going to grow up with your father figure, and you're going to be imparted the knowledge that he's going to be giving you. So I've decided to go for a character that is science-y, like kind of taking after him, but not completely. So I was thinking a guy who's going to go into science, but instead of like medicine, maybe this character will have gone into like tinkering and mechanics stuff. So my repair is going to be high, and then maybe also was really into like, I don't know, sports or thinking something like that, or like working out. So melee weapons. Okay, that I think those are going to be my 3 main skills: science, melee weapons, repair. So it's going to be very little combat ability at the beginning, because that's not the lifestyle in the vault, right? Like I don't have energy weapon proficiency in the vault. That's silly, right? That doesn't make any sense. Why would I have barter or survival, right? Or all those things? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to stick with those kinds of skills that I think a person might get in a vault under the circumstances that you're living. All right. I will take the most sciencey approach to situations throughout the terrors of the wasteland, right? I come across a situation, how would a character that grew up with science and repair and like mechanics approach it, right? Like my number one reaction to something isn't going to be kill it, because that's not how he grew up, right? So it's going to be more of a what kind of an analysis of the situation, taking more of a scientific approach, right? Do the most logical thing based on what I know, because obviously everything in the wasteland is horrible and terrifying, right? Okay, like, oh, if I see a death claw for the first time, or a ghoul, this is an important one. If I see a ghoul, like, what does my character think? Is it like a normal reaction, or is it a, oh my god, what is wrong with your skin? That's the kind of stuff that we're gonna have to role play as we go along, right? That's why I want a balanced character with the special skills are going to be balanced, a little bit higher intelligence, not all the way up, and a little higher strength. I think that's what I'm going to go with. So like charisma not going to be so high, luck not going to be so high, agility not going to be so high. Okay, so now that I got the my vision for this playthrough out of the way, I did want to talk a little bit about Tale of Two Wastelands, so you kind of know what this game is. So Tale of Two Wastelands is really kind of a mod in of itself that converts Fallout 3, all of the Fallout 3 game, the entirety of it, into the Fallout New Vegas version of the Gamebryo engine, which is the game engine that these games are made with. The two games are not, they're both made with the same engine, but not the same version of it. And what ended up happening, for whatever reason, I didn't look into this, but it turns out Fallout New Vegas was a little more stable than Fallout 3. In addition to that, or maybe because of that, Fallout New Vegas got a lot more mod support than Fallout 3. So even standalone, Fallout New Vegas has a ton more mods than Fallout 3. Fallout 3 has a good chunk, but a lot of them haven't been kept up with. They're obsolete, they don't work, they're hard to find, they're not online anymore. It's just impossible to truly mod Fallout 3 in a satisfying way. So what this does is it converts Fallout 3 into the New Vegas version. Therefore, you can mod Fallout 3 with Fallout New Vegas mods. So you can basically play Fallout 3 as if you were playing it in Fallout New Vegas, if that makes any sense. For example, there is a hardcore mode in Fallout 3 now that comes naturally with the game because it's Fallout New Vegas. We'll be playing hardcore mode, by the way. Armor mods that you change in New Vegas appear in Fallout 3. There's so many mods out there for Fallout New Vegas that fix the game and stuff like that, and it's converted into Fallout 3. So you can just play one game. It's pretty awesome. All right, what they did with this, it's pretty amazing. Okay, so that's the reason I'm doing Tale of Two Wastelands as opposed to standalone Fallout 3 and then Fallout New Vegas. The combination of the two games running smoothly on this engine and the quantity and quality of mods available for New Vegas that are therefore also available for Fallout 3, it's just pretty amazing. So we're going to be running through Fallout 3 first. And then as the natural progression of the story, we're going to be running through Fallout New Vegas eventually. This is going to be quite a while in the future, but that's the plan. Okay, so now that that's taken care of, I do want to give you a quick rundown of the mods I'm going to be using. I'm not going to tell you all of them because it's a very long list, but I'm going to give you the big ones. Okay? First, I'm running a mod called Advanced Recon Gear and Armor. That is not going to come into play for a while. Basically, it gives you like night vision goggles, thermal goggles, and stuff like that, and incorporates them into power armor helmets, which is pretty awesome. Okay, but like I said, we'll get to that later. I'm doing Darnified UI, which is basically it cleans up the user interface so it looks nice. instead of gigantic and messy. It changes the font and the font size of all the menus and stuff like that. I'm doing the immersive HUD, which lets you hide and tweak the HUD. Like you can move the brackets around. You can put your like you can actually move them all over the screen, and we'll get to that. You'll see what I'm saying when we actually get into the game. I'm doing the just assorted mods. So just it's like just looting, just hit indicator, just cursors, because it only changes that, but it's a package, so it just it just modifies a bunch of different things. They're very small, and you might not even notice it, but like the looting, for example, instead of having to open the container to loot, you just look at the container and it tells you what's in it, and you can just loot it from there, kind of like Fallout 4. It's very good, but it does a few little things like that. I'm doing the NMCS texture pack. I think I'm using one of the smaller ones. It's not going to change. The textures like the road signs, the fire hydrants, stuff like that, the garbage cans. It's not huge. You might not even notice it, to be honest with you. I'm doing one HUD, which further tweaks the HUD. You can hide it completely, so it only pops up when you want it to. If like I pull out my gun, my ammo shows. If I'm under attack, my health shows, and stuff like that. So you can tweak it to only show what you want when you want it, and you can hide it, and it'll show up for like 5 seconds and then it'll disappear. Stuff like that. If you're taking too many rads, like your rad meter will pop up, but not if you're not taking too many, right? You can adjust things so they pop up when you want them to. It's very good. One of the biggest ones I'm using is Stewie's Tweaks. This has hundreds of options that you can mess with in the game files themselves. So for example, we're going to be doing hardcore mode, but I did change it so that companions are essential and they don't die. I've changed it so, for example, there's a tweak in there so you can wear power armor even if you don't have the training, but it's not, it weighs more, and once you get the training for it, you're more optimized in how you use it, so it actually takes away carry weight, something like that. I also changed it so agility changes your jump height. I've done a bunch of little tweaks like that. To name them all would take too long, but Stewie's Tweaks is an amazing mod. You can just, I'm telling you, it's hundreds of options that you can just fiddle with your game until you get it just so. I'm doing universal water bottling. Since we're playing hardcore mode, I want to be able to fill up my water bottles and like water fountains and sinks, and yes, even toilets and rivers. It's going to be dirty water, but it'll be water, and sometimes you just need water. I'm using another one. It's like a loot menu where you can sort your gear in your containers in your player home, but we'll get to that. That's not really important. It's just for my convenience. And finally, and most importantly, I'm using the mod configuration menu, which is crucial because a lot of these mods use that to configure the options. And that about wraps it up for this intro video. Like I said, I am going to... this is going to be different because I've played a game like this before where I was being the character when I played Fallout New Vegas originally with Eric. I was like, Eric wouldn't do that. Eric would do this, and then I would explain what Eric would do instead of just being Eric and doing it. And I would kind of did the same thing with in my Nuka-Cola playthrough, right? Like my character there, Kara, what would she do, right? Like how would she react to these raiders? And I would just say like, well, you know, I don't think Kara would do this. I think she would do this other thing. But I was explaining it instead of just doing it and not talking about it. So this is going to be different. Like I'm not going to be talking as the character or anything like that. There's not going to be... I'm going to try to keep it first person. And that's the goal of this series. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun to play that way, and I hope you guys are going to have fun watching it. But anyway, this video is already long enough as far as an introductory video. in the next episode, episode 1, we're going to get started with the game and the beginnings. And yeah, please let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any suggestions, I might not get to them in time because I'm going to try to do like a season and then put it out and stuff like that. And like I said, these things are going to come natural. So don't be like, do this DLC first. Because if the character happens to wander by that DLC, then that's what's going to happen, you know? It's going to be playing it by ear, basically. So I think it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to this. As I was testing the mods, making sure that all the mods were working, I was having so much fun with this. So I wanted to stop playing before like I got too deep into the game because I was playing for a long time. But anyway, enough of that. That's enough of this intro video. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments. If you just want to let me know something about this game, feel free. Put it all in the comments. Like, I will read all the comments and stuff. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if like you give me some suggestions and I don't do them. It's not because I don't want to. It's just because it's not the natural story that the character is going through. But anyway, that'll be all for today. Episode 1 will be going up along with this video. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you in episode 1 of Tale of Two Wastelands.